All right, 1 sec. I just got to turn my light back on. All right. All righty. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the worst podcast ever. This is the worst podcast ever, as a comic book guy would say on The Simpsons. Happily, I am a little more calm. I just did a live rant on the what's going on with Twitter, so I'm actually kind of pissed off. Hi, Crown. Welcome back. I just got to open my window quick, so give me 1 sec, all right? There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, can you hear me okay? Am I coming in loud and clear? It's like we're going to get a nasty storm again. But I'm here to do my worst podcast ever episode. I got my anger out over Musk fucking up Twitter. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy at all about it. I feel like it's going to be the downfall of basically all of social media, at least all of Twitter, which really has me upset. But when I saw that, I'm like, I have to do a rant. I have to quick do a rant, and I'm like, I'll have enough time. I'll have enough time before I have to do the podcast, so I can do a rant quick, and I did. But out of curiosity, Crown, what'd you think of the rant video, the live rant? What'd you think? Pretty good, so to speak. Okay, good, bad. It's sad that a person that is not rich. Yeah, I'm not rich, and I could probably do a better job in 8 months than the rich person. And then again, like I said, what I did in 8 months is I know what our topic is for tonight, but I'll keep going on this for a little bit because I just got done with that. Like I said, in 8 months, going from October 27th when he bought Twitter, so I got scammed out of $2,000, which was bad. But I ended up getting a new job. But granted, I hate my job. In fact, this coming week, I really hate it because I'm closing all 4 shifts that I'm working. All 4 days I'm closing, and that includes 4th of July. So I don't even get 4th of July off this year. So I don't get to enjoy hot dogs, fireworks. I have to work because the store's expecting a large group of people to come in at, I guess, 9 o'clock at night and order cheese and meat, and I have to slice it. Good luck with that. But yeah, they're expecting a large crowd. So I'm kind of pissed at that because I don't like my job anymore. I really don't. I'm being taken advantage of at work. But I got a new job. Granted, I lost money. I got scammed out of money. I got a better job. Well, I got a job. Let's put it that way. I got a job. I started doing other things. I came out as transgender. I started. Hey, I was talking more with friends of mine. I started trying to better myself. I got, well, hell, even within the 8 months, I started HRT. So I have effectively begun my transition. I fell in love with my friend, which at least I'm still friends with her. I'm still friends with her. That's fine by me. Because, yeah, I told her how I felt right as she got a girlfriend. So that wasn't fun. But I'm still friends with her. I even wished her a happy birthday. I purposely stayed up till midnight this morning, till after midnight, just to wish her a happy birthday because she lives in a different hour time zone. So she's 1 hour behind us or behind me. So I purposely stayed up till midnight. I should have stayed up till 1 a.m., but midnight was all the more I could do. But yeah, I've done a lot in 8 months, and I could probably run Twitter a hell of a lot better than he could. And I will make that. I'll say it again. If anybody wants to give me the job, or if they want, I will be the one. I am, like I said, if everybody that uses Twitter is willing to put in $50 each, we buy Twitter off of him. I'll be the one that you can all complain to. and I'll do my best to make it right at this point. What's my background? I can understand how stuff works. You hire people to make this work. You can't be a one person army for this. And that's the problem with it. But yeah. So you like the rant video, though, I take it. Sorry, I have a different setup too, because just didn't feel like pulling out my table and setting it up that way tonight, because I didn't feel like it. I just didn't feel like doing it. I did shave though this morning, so yeah. I think he's on the board of Tesla, but as far as like owning businesses, I know he owns well, so far it is Twitter. There might be another one that he owns. I don't know it off the top of my head, and I am not in the mood to look it up. I really don't care. If you want to Google it, go ahead. I'm not in the mood to look it up. I could honestly, I could give two craps what else he owns, but he's running Twitter into the ground, and I'm gonna take a stand here, and I will fight this battle tooth and nail, and I will die on this hill if I have to, and I will go down swinging because he is killing Twitter, and I'm not for that because Twitter is a great place. You can meet a lot of nice people on Twitter. You can get to know a lot of nice people on Twitter, and I do not want to see that site burn to the ground. And this is the point when I see it burning to the ground, and I refuse to put up with this. I refuse to deal with it anymore. So if he wants to continue to fuck up a business, I'll say, yeah, go ahead, screw it up, be my guest, but I'm not going to sit here and watch you do it. I will fight you on this. I will put up a GoFundMe. That's what I should do. I should put up a GoFundMe to raise money to buy Twitter. I'd buy it right out from it. I wonder how many people would give to that. Be like, look, I am going to start a GoFundMe to purchase Twitter from him. And the thing is, I will make it so that everybody that donates gets a share of stock, basically. So you will get stock in the company. I wonder how many people would be interested in that. Hey, yeah, donate to my GoFundMe and you'll get stock in Twitter. And we can all fix this bitch together. Because I guarantee you, if I would do that, and not even just me, if somebody else would even do it, but I will gladly do it. I will gladly take the reins and do this. I will start a GoFundMe if I have to for this. And go, look, I want to buy Twitter. I want to buy it off of him, and I want to fix this. And he's not going to get the $44 billion that he paid. I will say that right here and now, he ain't getting that much because he's brought this site to its knees. So he wouldn't even get that much. But I will be more than happy to buy the site off of him and fix this 100%. But yeah, I mean, he's running Twitter into the ground, and I just can't sit idly by about it anymore. It's upsetting me because that's where because I can still talk with my friend yet. I'm still her friend. You know, she's still my friend. So that is what gives me hope. And like I said, I will give up the last bit of hope that I have left that he will fix this. So he's got the last bit of hope that I have left, but I will work on, I will think of contingency plans. I mean, I say, let's run this. Let's, start up a GoFundMe. Let's buy this bitch back and make it our own. We actually have it that it's a social media site owned by the people using the social media site. It's owned by everybody. Like if you want to join Twitter, yeah, it'll be $5 to join, but that $5 gets you a guaranteed spot. Like you cannot be like nothing you do. You are part of, you are like involved in stock. Basically, you have stock in the company now, which would be really cool. But I'm trying to fix a button on my shirt. It's not on camera. In case you're wondering like why my hands are down here, I'm trying to fix a button on my shirt and it just keeps falling right out and it's driving me nuts. But yeah, I am all for, like I said, let's just go through this. Let's buy this bitch back and we'll fix it. But yeah, but tonight's podcast, we're talking about toys. That is tonight's podcast. We're talking action figures of the past, present, and the future. And it's ironic that I chose this topic because about 10 days ago, a trailer dropped for Small Soldiers Rise of the Necron. I think according to the thing, it's still in development. So it's just like the conceptual that they're going to use to pitch around to try to get a studio to say, hey, we want to back. I was explaining this to my mom because I showed her the trailer for it, or I showed her what they put up. And it said, this is not official. This is not, actual game footage. This is the concept that they're going to use to pitch around to get money. And she just kind of looks at me and I explained it to her. I'm like, this is what they make. And then they'll go to game companies and say, look, this is our idea for a game. We want to make this game a reality. What can we do to make this game a reality? And then like, give us X amount of money so we can make this a reality. Then they'll go to another one. It's like, hey, we got this much. Give us X amount of money. Let's do this. Or we'll go to this one. Hey, give us X amount of money. That's what they do with those things. But it's ironic that I chose action figures for tonight's topic because, and I find this funny that I chose it because action figures were a huge part of our childhoods, especially mine too, because I love action figures. I still do. When I was growing up, I had the little G.I. Joe figures, and I loved how the one person on, I don't remember, it was something that I saw either on Facebook or one of the few times I've ever been on Reddit, and somebody actually had up about, do you understand why what people always used to do with action figures, with like the old G.I. Joe figures? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have an idea, but I'm just curious. They would pretend there are other things because the original figures, and I'm talking like the little ones. I think they're like either 3 inches tall or 3.5 or 3 3/4 inches. People used to just pretend they were other things. I used to pretend they were Power Ranger figures until I actually got Power Ranger figures. And those, bless them, I forget who made it. Was it Band? I think Bandai made it. Yeah, Bandai made them originally. Bless Bandai for what they tried to do, but they failed miserably at it. Bless them for trying, but they weren't the greatest at it. And I think they realized that. But I like how they remade them. Like they came back out with them again for the next generation. It was like the anniversary. They remade the original Mighty Morphin figures, the ones with the you flip down the morpher, the front of the chest pops out a little bit, the back part pops out a bit, and the head switches from the unmorphed head to the morphed head. They remade those. And the only complaint I ever had with those is the same complaint that I think a lot of people had, and that was they were not very show accurate. It was all the same mold. It was your basic stock male body mold. And there was really nothing discerning them between genders. Now, to be fair, for anyone that's ever seen the Sentai series, Zyuranger, which is what Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was based on, at least season 1, the Yellow Ranger was male. And when it was brought here in the US, Thuy Trang ended up winning out to become the original Yellow Ranger. Now, there was one before her, but she did not make it past the original pilot, or I think it was the concept pilot, because the original pilot, well, Day of the Dumpster, but I think it was the concept pilot version, not the actual pilot. And she basically, the one that was originally Trini, didn't make the cut, and they found Thuy Trang, and the rest is history. And it was sad that she's gone, just like Jason David Frank, because they were both two of my favorite Rangers growing up. I did like the Yellow Ranger, and Tommy Oliver, Jason David Frank was like an older brother. I said this on Twitter. He was like the older brother that you always looked up to. You always wanted to come home and watch. It's like the older brother that will always just be there to dispense wise advice. And it's really true. And it's sad that he's still gone. I still can't get over that death. I still think like I was gonna wake up, or like later in the day he was gonna wake up, see it trending like he had died, and go, whoa, I'm still alive, it's fine. But no, he was gone. And it's still sad. And aside from that, I still blame the wife. I think a lot of us do, despite what she says. I think his daughter still blames her. least I blame her. I know a few other people blame her too. I blame her. I blame her tremendously. But like a friend of mine said, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. You only ever see what they want you to see. It's why when I'm on social media, I'm always transparent with what's going on with me. If I'm not happy, I will. I'll tweet about it. I'll put something up on Facebook about it. I'm never the type of person that I'm going to hide behind the shadows and say, "Oh, everything's fine," and have like a smile on my face, because it's not, and it sucks. But yeah, but it's ironic though. Like I said, that I picked this for the topic this week, because we're getting the new this new Small Soldiers game. It's using Unreal Engine. It looks really good too, though. If the quote unquote Necrons, or I'm assuming that's what they're called, if they are in fact the, I want to say, Gorgonite knockoffs in this, I'm rooting for the Commandos in this one, because the Commandos, to me, at least the leader of the Commandos, looks more sympathetic than Major Chip Hazard did. You know, she at least looks sympathetic. The leader of the other team, while seemingly sympathetic, and I will say does have a kind of a cool design, doesn't exactly scream, "I know what I'm doing here." Like, they don't have that essence. I am 100% comfortable with what I'm doing. I know exactly what's going on. They don't seem to have that. And that is something that I will say bothers me about it. But I got a text. Yeah. But yeah, it's just annoying as hell. All right. I was trying to get together with a friend of mine today. She was waiting for her brother-in-law to show up. And I texted her and I said, "Hey, did you ever get a hold of your brother-in-law?" She said that she has a push mower because her lawnmower broke. That's what her brother-in-law was coming to fix. Uh, but it's not self-propelled, so it gets heavy. No, it didn't. I have no idea what happened to him. But then her son wanted to go look for shoes, so they went out to the mall for a little bit. Okay. All right. I'll send a text. I'll reply back quick. But yeah, but it was just when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, "This is really cool." It was an interesting. It's an interesting concept. And I apologize if you're hearing noise. I have to have the window open. It is getting hot as hell in here. My new light, which I'm probably gonna regret doing this in like 3 seconds, but I got a new light. Not I think it was last week or the week before, but it's this it's makes it very hot in here. But it's actually really good. It uses 12 watts, so it's a little brighter, because I thought that my other one was just a little too dull. But yeah, like I said, though, I thought it was really cool, the trailer, because it just it actually looked really good. I actually thought it was a movie, and I was looking at the comments, and then one person goes, "Oh well, I would rather have a new Small Soldiers movie than a game." I'm like, "This is a game?" I'm like, "Holy shit, this is really good for a game." But yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, that came off when I was I got that message when I was doing my rant video. Okay, that's why I didn't hear it. But yeah, was really good. But on top of that, aside from that dropping, we also got some insight with Toy Story 5. I bitched about this. I think I did a rant video on it with Buzz and Woody are supposedly coming back. Now Tim Allen will be voicing Buzz Lightyear, but there's no word yet on whether or not it's going to be Tom Hanks or his brother Jim Hanks that's going to be voicing Woody. That's not good. But there was a user that put a video up on YouTube, And I will say right off the bat, I love the premise that they thought of for the movie. 100%, I love this idea that they had for it. So in their version, uh, Bonnie's giving the toys back to Andy because Andy's going to be expecting a child. And basically, what's going to happen is Buzz has to go look for Woody, and it's a race against the clock to beat Andy's wife going into labor. So Buzz has to try to track down Woody to basically save Woody from, well, basically bring Woody back home and possibly Bo Peep, so that the next generation, basically Andy's child, can play with those same toys that Andy did. But Bonnie has to tell Andy that she lost Woody at a carnival, which I guarantee you would probably piss him off. Of course, let me just add a little more insult to injury here. He could also probably just buy another Woody doll on, I want to say, online, and essentially just have that, and then have both Tom and Jim Hanks do the voice, which would be really cool. Have like two Woodies, but I don't see that happening. Not in this or any other lifetime, but would be a good idea. But going back with toys, so we've always had those toys when we were kids, like the massive action figures we always had. And I love how my grandfather used to do flea market hopping and yard sale hopping on a Saturday. And there was a yard sale thing in the flyer in the newspaper that we have action figures. We get to the yard sale, it's nothing but stuffed animals. Like you can see it from the roadway, it's nothing but stuffed animals. And it's the exact same address. We were like, we got there like right as they wrote, it's all action. They're saying action figures, it's all stuffed animals. So it's like you're supplying the action. But yeah, no, but I always liked action figures when I was a kid. Transformers were always cool, especially Beast Wars were the first ones that I ever got. Those are really cool. But always finding something cool from yard sales, because even now some of the more retro ones are getting re-released. I was at my local Walmart yesterday, and they had literally on the shelves retro, but I guess they're like new. I guess it's like new old stock of some Ninja Turtles. So they had Shredder, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, I had like 3 of you from yard sales and flea markets, because I remember the hand stretched out. I'm like, I had like 3 of you from yard sales and flea markets, and it's really cool. I'm not gonna lie about that. But then they also had the Beast Wars toys there, and I'm just looking at all this and thinking, this is the retro nostalgia that's just paying off, and action figures are a huge deal. So I'm excited about it. I'm glad that action figures are coming back, and the more retro stuff is too. But I do like, and I want to bring this up because going back to the Power Rangers, I always found it funny how the Megazords were never show accurate. Now, when they started releasing like smaller versions of it, 5-inch figures that still had the same issue, but they were a little more show accurate to a point. I would have loved back in the 90s if they would have actually fixed the Megazords so that the arms bent at the elbows and the legs bent at the knees, and the torsos moved like they do in the show. But no, because they just reused the molds that they already had and just put them inside new casing. That's literally all they did. Save for the Shogun Zords, which they actually had to recolor the white one pink. I will never understand that, by the way, because it's white in the show, but you recolor it pink for the toy, but it's white in the show. It's because they're using Sentai foot. Never mind. But I like how with the newer stuff, how we're getting the bendable knees net. And I love the story that came out years ago about the child of the one developer for the figures and the Megazord saying, "Oh, I wish this could move like it does on the show." And then just like that, the person is like, "You know what? That would be a good idea." And that's why for I think it's the King Oger I think that's the newest one. That's why the Megazord has movable limbs and why it moves, and you can actually bend the elbows. You can like ratchet. There's ratchet. It moves more now because yeah, technology is advanced. You don't have to use the same. The arms move like this. That's all they do. Oh, they're not tin soldiers. All they are. That's all they did for the longest time. And with other figures, I mean, look at Hasbro and the Transformers for years, even back with G1 when they were just taking the stuff from the Diaclone line. Even those, some of them had bendable forearms, some of them had bendable elbows. They weren't all just this weirdness. They did have other aspects to them. And I just find it hilarious how essentially, I want to say this basically, it was just essentially that I think it was Bandai that, yeah, it was Bandai that did it. Just couldn't invest in, bendable arms. Just remake the plastic mold. Invest like $100 for some R&D. That's why I love the mini plas stuff, the little model kits you can build, because it allows for articulation. The Shogun Megazord is a set that I would love to own. The Astro and Delta Megazords I would love to own, because the attention to detail is it's so beautiful. It's chef's kiss worthy. And you can tell that. And it's just a model kit, but it's a model kit based off of an action figure. And then you just have like those no-name brand figures. Like I remember as a kid, every flea market, I was always finding like Skeletors from He-Man, or I was finding He-Man figures. I found Man of Arms. I'd found like a Planetary Man, I think one of them was called. I was just finding the weirdest of the weird when it came to action figures. And these were action figures that I always just, I kept throwing them back into the box. I'm like, this doesn't throw me. I kept throwing it back in the box. It's a quarter each. Throw it back in the box. I had like 3 Skeletors. I had like 2 He-Mans. I don't want anymore. I have this one already. They aren't bad figures. It's just when you have one, you know what it does. Okay, I'm getting it now for a quarter, a toy that came out in the 80s. All it does is move in weird directions. It's not that great, but at the same time, it's not bad. Then when it came to, and I'm going to go with a few years ago, say 2014, 2014, when Iron Man 2 was out. We had the 3 3/4 inch figures. I was collecting those like crazy because the elbows moved, the knees moved, the hips moved, the torso moved. Hi, Common. You can call me Andrew or Jessica, or whatever it is you go by nowadays. Well, legally, I'm still Andrew. Legally, I'm still Andrew, but you can call me Jessica. I know a couple people that live in Canada. Madry Bread has something up. A couple other people on Twitter had something up. I did a live rant because of what Musk is doing to Twitter. I just got that done before the podcast. So that was fun. Yeah, but happy Canada Day. Today's also a friend of mine's birthday. She's 38. She's 4 years older than I am. She's 38 because I will be 34 in August. So I'll be 34 in a little over a month. Wow. August 18th, I'll be 34. My favorite show from Canada. Oh. Did Code Lyoko count for Canada? Does Code Lyoko count for Canada? Because if it does, that's what my pick is. Because I'm sure as hell not going to say reboot the Guardian Code because nobody liked the Guardian Code. Everybody hated the Guardian Code. But if Code Lyoko counts, I'm going to say Code Lyoko. But where was it? Oh, yeah, the Iron Man figures. Because with the Iron Man figures, they worked out really well because they actually moved. They felt lifelike. Then you get the Iron Man 3, and those come out. And I'm expecting, okay, these are going to look really good. They're going to be really great. I mean, granted, okay, the arms can go out because there's like a little ball ratchet in the shoulders, but It's soldier movements. It's tin soldier movements. And I'm just scratching my head like, why? You were beautiful. I have seen clips from Degrassi. I have heard of Degrassi, and I think Nickelodeon had a couple episodes on. I want to say it was a Saturday night because the show that they did have on, they yanked. So I remember catching like I think 5 minutes of Degrassi, but don't ask me what it's about. I have heard of it. I have seen clips of it, but as for what it is, I not. I know it's like a high school sort of like Dawson's Creek thing, but set around actual teenagers, not 30-year-olds pretending to be 15. That's that's about the best I can say. That's about the best I can word it. It's I want to say uh 30-year-olds trying to be trying not to be 15-year-olds, if that makes any sense. I guess. I don't know. I've heard of Degrassi, yes. I have heard of it. I have heard of Degrassi. Is that one of your favorite shows? I mean, it must be if you're asking me, because that makes sense. But oh, that's right. I got something I gotta tell everybody. We got a kitten. We have a new kitten. So this was fun. So the last couple, I want to say about a week. No, 2 weeks. Yeah, okay, okay. At least 2 weeks we've had there's been two kittens roaming around with the one cat that we have so lovingly named Paws. Paws is the one that brought the other two kittens to our door that sadly passed away. These two kittens are much healthier. They are much more lively. We're pretty sure that the other ones were pretty weak and feeble, and she dropped them at our doorstep. Like, here, I don't want them to be eaten, killed, or attacked for sport. The new DreamWorks, oh, that Kraken one. Does it suck? Oh, don't tell me that Kraken one. That actually looked pretty good. Don't tell me that sucks. That actually looked pretty good. Is it that Kraken one? It's the Kraken one, isn't it? Oh my god. The one that's only going to be in theaters for like 3 weeks, like 3 or 4 weeks. Whereas Elementals is going to be in theaters for till Labor Day. I saw online it's going to be in theaters till Labor Day. Well, to be fair, you could save me the money. Ruby, yeah, that's the one. That's the yeah. She's like a kraken. She saves the world from mermaids. Like, her and her family save the world from mermaids. She's like a high school kid. I'm thinking, well, that was like the only DreamWorks movie I know of that's coming out. Because I know Elementals came out. It was a $200 million flop. They've just barely started making some money back, but they're at least halfway off of breaking even. They're going to be keeping the movie in theaters till Labor Day to try to recoup as much as they can. Because they made that announcement and that was up on social media, provided you're able to see it. You know, hashtag Twitter's burning alive here. Oh, by the way, Cobbin, let me ask you a question. But the story was met. Ah. Okay, so the story sucks. Okay, because I know I saw the trailer for it. It's like, wait a minute, the trailer looked pretty badass. The plot element that they gave in the trailer seemed okay, but okay, so the story is meh. All right, that actually does make some sense, I guess. Oh, great. And hey, Mondo, I just realized that was you. Hey, Mondo. But yeah, let me ask Mondo, Common, Crown. Let me ask this question: do any of you three use Twitter? Do any of the three of you use Twitter? Because I'm trying to get a show of hands to see if I should look into doing my stupid idea or not. Because I have an idea. Mr. Code. Yeah, I haven't really seen any reviews for it. The only review that I've seen for movies that came out this weekend were Indiana Jones and the screw it. Sometimes you use it barely anymore. Okay, well then I guess you two wouldn't have to worry about this because Elon Musk royally screwed Twitter up today. There's now post limits that you're able to view. If you're verified, you get 6,000 a day. If you're unverified, but you are a person of Twitter, you get 600 a day. And if you're a new user, but you're unverified, you get 300 a day that you can read per day. So it'd be 600 posts that you can read or 300 posts you can read. I like Twitter. Hey, Chuck, I like Twitter. I'm actually contemplating starting a GoFundMe to buy Twitter off of him. I can save it. Give this girl a chance. She'll save it. Because I'm willing to start a GoFundMe to buy Twitter. Because he's killing it. He's destroying Twitter left, right, center. I just did a rant. I did a live rant video on what he's doing. It depends on the mermaids. I think Ariel's okay, but then again, I grew up with the Little Mermaid. Some mermaids are bad. Yeah, I swear because that's the Kraken movie. That's the new DreamWorks Kraken movie. So the plot sucks, but the visuals are good. That's great. It's great. I was actually having high hopes for that. Then again, I mean, it's going up against Indiana Jones and the dial of screw you, basically. Because now I've seen the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull with Indiana Jones. I've seen Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, I watched the original Little Mermaid too. Wait, hold on one sec. See, I have a keychain of Ariel on my purse. I mean, I've seen it too. That is predictable. Oh, it's predictable. Yeah, I got it at the Dollar Tree, Chuck. I got it at a Dollar Tree. It's really cool. But yeah, she's so cute. It's why I got it. I wanted a keychain to put on my purse, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, and I just got that one. Yeah. Yeah, I know that Twitter can be toxic for a lot of people. See, that's where I talk with a lot of my friends. That's where I met. That's where I was. That's actually where I met my friend that I fell in love with, and at least I'm still her friend. So that's about the only good thing I have going. But I'm really glad. I'm gonna have to, I guess, refollow or try to rejoin her Discord server so that I can keep up with her because that's not a good thing if Twitter goes down. But yeah. Well, yeah, Ariel's. Well, all mermaids are fictional characters. If we actually have real mermaids in the world, they're hidden very well. They're all fictional characters. Yeah, I like social media though because it allows me to talk with people in other countries. So I could talk with somebody that lives over in the UK. I could talk with somebody that lives. Actually, I do talk with somebody that lives. I think it's in South Korea. There's a person that I talk with. But yeah, I just like social media for the aspect of talking to people. Because the boomers are the ones that are mad at my generation because they're claiming that my generation's ruining what they had, but in actuality, they're just destroying what my generation has. Well, it looks like you're gonna have to be going to DeviantArt there, Chuck, because you won't be able to view. You'll only get like either 300 to 600 posts you can view a day. That's it. I mean, if you want to pay Elon Musk $8 a month, you can be verified, and you'll get 6,000 posts a day. It's actually making me wonder how many posts do I actually read on Twitter. Oh, I guarantee you there's a lot of things that are angry at us if it exists. If there are leprechauns, we're screwed. If there are Loraxes, we're royally boned. If there are fairies, we're screwed. There's a lot, Crown, if they exist. We are boned many different ways. Wholeheartedly are we boned different ways. I always said that when crash test dummies come to life, we as a society will be coming to an end because they will enact their revenge. You've used us for years. You used us for years, and now it's our turn. The crash test dummies here to take your souls. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Chuck. Hold on. All right. The wonders that I can pull from my room. How are we screwed? What, when the crash test dummies take over? Because we use them for testing cars. We destroy them. We kill them. We keep massacring them and rebuilding them and doing it again and again and again. They're going to seek out revenge. But I got you beat here. This is my favorite one. Oh yeah, this is my favorite one. But I kind of got you beat here. So I got these. This was the very last one I ever bought because I got it at when I was still working at Five Below. And I got these. And then I got this. So suffice it to say, I have a crap ton of Bakugan. But I will say, though, that this one is honestly my favorite. Let me find a piece of metal so I can pop it open. Hold on. Yes, there we go. This one's my favorite. I will never get rid of it. It was a Target exclusive Iron Man figure. And I will never, ever, 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 ever sell this. Because I love this one. This is one of my favorite Bakugan. I have some that I really, really hate, but that's one that I really, really love. But, yeah. Okay, well, leprechauns are pure magical beings. They can affect luck and just constantly screw you over. And fairies can pretty much control plant life. Like pixies and that. They can control plant life. We would be screwed. I did know about that. I did know about that because there was a huge article because I think it was one of the last shows, one of the women that was doing it, she explained about a lot of the crap that she was experiencing because of it. Like she actually was. I'm actually glad that Disney did that because she actually said that she was followed to her car, and there was an incident. Happily, security stepped in and helped, but she said that she really was scared. So she is actually happy that that was abolished then. So yes, that one I actually do know. Charging my laptop back up. But yep, I did know about that. The male harassment. I did I did know about that. But yep, 'cause I had like a lot of action figures growing up. I had some Ninja Turtle figures, like a crap ton of Ninja Turtle figures growing up that I would get from flea markets and yard sales. Transformers, Power Rangers, GI Joes. I had a bunch of the smaller ones for a while because they were really cheap to get. Like I get like when my mom and grandmother would take me to Kmart or Hills at the time, I would instantly go right to the toy section and oh, there's a whole bunch. Then you had the really crappy action figures that had like no action to them. They were just like a little figurine, and they were always in the action figure aisle. Because I remember Monster Rancher had a whole bunch of those. I was like, yeah, that too. It was turning their hair green. It was giving some health problems. I think one actually made a comment about her costume actually was cutting off circulation to parts of her leg because they were doing the shows like 4 to 10 times a day at one point. But oh yeah, there was a slew of reasons, but the harassment that definitely did not help them. But I do remember an article about that right when they were shutting it down. One of the ladies or one of the women actually was saying that she was followed to her car. And it scared the crap out of her. She was so happy that they were discontinuing the shows after that because she was followed to her car and she extremely did not feel safe, which I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. Not one bit. But yeah, like I said, I had a ton of action figures growing up, like Transformers, Power Rangers, GI Joe figures, just a slew of action figures I had growing up. And you had those ones that had no articulation to them. You had some that had a lot of articulation, some that always had more articulation. I always liked getting the Iron Man figures though, because from the Invincible Iron Man series, because they had the armor that you could always put on. It was just like a little peg hole. You put the armor piece in. So those were really cool. Then, of course, that I wish that series would have had them be smaller. They're like 5 inches tall and everything, but still, like you've all seen my Iron Man figure. So there's that. But yeah, I loved collecting action figures as a kid. Toys and everything were always fun to me. But yeah, I mean, I liked a lot of the shows. I mean, if I collected the toys from it, I liked the show. There was Biker Mice from Mars. I had one of the figures, the one mouse, the robot arm. I had that because I always pretended. I always picked like the weirdest characters that I had, and when I was getting into DBZ, because we always had the Ocean Dub. That was the only one we had for the longest time till Cartoon Network got Funimation's version, and then we got the proper. I really want to say the proper one because as much as people will say the Ocean Dub was good, I prefer Funimation's rendition, to be honest with you, to a point, mind you, but still. And what I did was I had 2 characters that were Saiyans and the other ones that were Earth Special Forces, the Z Fighters, basically. And I was just reenacting the Battle of the Saiyans because I had seen it more times than I care to count. I watched it literally, I think, about 20 times I had seen it. And I'm just talking like Nappa taking on Tien, Piccolo, Krillin, stuff like that. Then when I finally got my hands on some of the DBZ figures that Irwin came out with, those things sucked. I had started reading Dragon Ball Z Collector from Beckett, and I saw these figures, and I'm like, hey, this is kind of interesting. Man, those figures suck. Again, arms smooth like this, then you can pull the whole arm out of its socket to put their top on. It's like their shirt on, but the legs were solid. The feet might move. You might be able to pop the feet out. Because I remember getting a little Gohan figure. I had a Goku figure, a Krillin. I know I had Goku and I had Gohan. I don't remember if I had any of the other ones. But then when Irwin started making the ones that actually had articulation, I was like, oh, these are better. These are way better. Because I always liked getting especially down the road when they had the better sets. Um, the only one I really wish I would have gotten my hands on, I wish I would have gotten Gohan in the Great Saiyaman outfit without the helmet when he just had his at the world, I should say the world tournament, basically, after Videl got her ass beat when he was about to charge out there and take on Spopovich. That figure was one of them that they released. I would have loved to have had that. But I had the Yamcha in the yellow suit. I had Piccolo's. I had I think, yeah, I did have a Krillin. I know I had Majin Buu. I had Cell with the Cell, or sorry, Perfect Cell with the Cell Juniors. I ended up getting the Piccolo and Imperfect Cell combo pack, the Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza combo pack. I had Android 18. I had Android 17. 17 was actually really good design wise for the toy. Granted, okay, the arms in that were still solid, so like they didn't bend, but you just had like the shoulder movements. But still, it wasn't a bad toy. I liked it, and I lost it. I actually like lost it legitimately. It's somewhere up in my old room. But those were really good toys, and they were definite and massive improvements from the originals. And then when we started getting the ones with the bendable elbows and the bendable knees, the articulation was just finally where it needed to be to make decent poses and actually pretend like you're actually playing with an action figure. And I love that. And that was, for me, that would have been, I want to say, early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. Because I had gotten Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta from a Kmart 2-pack. I remember getting my hands on, I was like Kid Goku and Pan from GT. There's just a lot of them that were really good. And I always tried to get the Super Saiyans. I always tried to get Super Saiyan figures. I didn't always succeed, mind you, but I tried. But yeah, I always loved the action figures. And they have improved. I will say action figures have improved. The articulation has started to get better. Though now we're getting back into the retro era, like I was saying earlier, where we're getting the retro figures. And the retro figures are essentially like the original figures. They only move like this. That's all they do now. So we're kind of going backwards. Even like with Transformers, we were going backwards. When we had, it's like 10 steps to change a Transformer. Now we have 1-step changers or 2-step changers or 3-step changers. And I'm like, why are we only getting these really pathetic changing figures? That's not what Transformers is. Transformers are, you get these figures, you build them together, or you transform them. It's multiple steps. One step. Okay, I just got to flip it up. Hey, it's transformed. That's not a transformer. That's just a block of wood. It's a brick. Who wants to play with a brick? I mean, a decent transformer to me is it takes at least 5 steps to change it. That is a decent transformer. If you cannot change it in 5 steps, if it takes less than 5 steps to change it, it's not a decent transformer. It sucks. I have a couple of them that are really good, but they take more. They're at least like 6 steps to change. You have to like pull the shoulders out. You have to swivel the legs down, pop the pelvis in place, pop the torso in place, spin the head around. It takes at least 5 steps. It does not take less than 5 steps. And that's what I enjoy. Because those are action figures, because there is action with them. But when you don't have action figures like that, and when they suck, yeah, that's a problem. That's a very, very, very big problem. Because with those 1-step changers, there's nothing to do. It just, you push a button and it just like pops the robot out. That's not, what's fun about that? The whole point is to have steps. Because you might find that, if I don't transform it right, it looks a little cooler. But yeah, actually, what were some of the action figures that everybody out there had? Let's get that conversation going. Because I remember the action figures that I had. I've been rattling them off this entire episode. I mean, I remember the whole. This was actually a funny thing with Toy Story. So With Toy Story 2, when you're in Al's Toy Barn, the Barbie doll made the, or sorry, tour guide Barbie made the joke that due to an oversight in supply and demand, they didn't order enough Buzz Lightyear toys to meet the demand or to meet consumer demand. So they were short-handed, they were short-stocked. That was actually true in real life because I remember when the first Toy Story came out, everybody wanted to get their hands on Buzz Lightyear, and there was a massive shortage of it because it was like the Tickle Me Elmo before Tickle Me Elmo. And everybody's like, well, why can't I find Buzz Lightyear? Where's Buzz Lightyear? Why is there no Buzz Lightyear? Because Buzz Lightyear is currently unavailable. It's sold out everywhere. It's not just you, it's sold out everywhere. Nobody has Buzz Lightyear. Nobody has Buzz Lightyear at all. It's sold out. And then if like a toy store got Buzz Lightyear, it suddenly went from Jingle All the Way, if you remember that movie, the original one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad, where he's trying to find Turbo Man. That's basically what happened then with the Buzz Lightyear. Like, oh, hey, this Kmart over here in Puxawakacan, they have a shipment of Buzz Lightyear. Everybody would rush over there and buy it. And then they'd be out. And they'd be going to the next one. Like any rumor was worth its weight in gold, basically. If somebody said, hey, this particular let's say Toys R Us has a stock of Buzz Lightyear, they would all hit that Toys R Us like a rampaging horde of buffalo. There's a Bob Rivers song when Pokemon was popular at Christmas time, trying to get their hands on Pokemon. And yeah, I could understand it. Thing became a freaking zeitgeist then. But I think I have another. I thought I had another action figure in here I could show for that. I don't think I do. My Transformers are buried, unfortunately. They're buried like right under here. They're buried. So I don't want to dig them out. But yeah, I mean, I have fond memories of all the extras. Because when I was a kid, and this is something that every time, like every Saturday, like I said, my grandfather and I would go flea market hopping and yard sale hopping. One of the things that I would do is I actually, like, you have to remember, I was a kid. I would tell my newly acquired toys, okay, so for the first night, they would always sleep with me because I said, I want to feel safe. I want to know that I'm going to be safe around you. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to sleep and you're going to protect me for the night. That was always the first thing I had them do. And if I made it through the night unscathed, I felt like all right, I can trust the toy. And most of the time I did. I think there's only like one time I felt a little weird, but to be fair, I'd gotten sick. So I didn't really blame them for that. There's something they could do. I'd gotten sick. But it was always something that I did as a kid. I always that was how I handled things because I didn't exactly feel like just throwing them into a box. And to be fair, like I said, when I was a kid, my room was a mess. My mom always argued about this. I remember when I was a kid, she said if I cleaned my bed off, I would get Lion King sheets on my bed. And I did. Now, to be fair, I had a mountain. Like my bed was basically a giant mountain at that point of just stuff that I'd thrown up there. So her goal was to get me to clean my room and keep it clean, to try to instill a sense of I need to keep this place clean. Didn't stick, as you can see behind me. As you can see from the giant mess behind me, it didn't actually stick. But I know where everything is. So I have my own system, basically. I have a system. But essentially, it was basically just that. And she would explain to me that, okay, well, we need blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I'd be okay. So I would get that. And I was content with it. But I like how when I was a kid, I had that entire mess in my room. And she goes, well, so here's what we're going to do. You clean up this mess. You clean your bed off and you'll get Lion King sheets. And I did. But I always liked the toys that I had as a kid. They were always fun. The action figures. And I like how they've improved. Like I said, I like how they improved. And I see everybody's gone. But I'll still talk. But yeah, I like how action figures have improved. I enjoy the fact that we now have much better action figures in the form of basically they're just better figures now. 100%. They're much better figures. And honestly, I think it's a lot better off than it was years ago. I like to think that action figures have evolved and they've definitely gotten better. But yeah. But anybody got anything they want to talk about? I've gotten my topic off my chest. So anybody got anything? Anybody still here? Marco. 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 Sorry I bored everybody tonight. Sorry I'm not sitting on the bed like I usually do, but I decided I wanted to I'm trying to work on my core to try to help me lose weight, and sitting on my exercise ball is helping, but I got to reinflate the thing a little more. But I just didn't want to, I don't want to wear out my bed till I can bring my chair down. And that's kind of my goal. I should be able, I could probably get it down actually. I would have to move some boxes and some stuff. So I should be able to get it down. Should. Theory. Should. 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 Anybody got anything? Anybody got anything at all? Again, I'm sorry I bored you all. You all had to leave. But I'll keep talking. Even if I don't have an audience, I'll still always do a show. So it's not entirely bad. But anybody still here? Anyone at all? Marco. 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 Anybody? Well, I guess that's probably it then for the night. But I don't know. I like I was saying, I like how the action figures are getting now. I like that we're getting better articulation. They look more lifelike. Figure it this way, at least even the original Barbie dolls, the legs actually had articulation. At least some of the ones in the 90s did. I don't know about the ones before that, but the ones in the 90s had decent articulation. You could actually move the elbows, you could move the knees. Because I did find one at a yard sale, at least my grandfather did, and I was kind of shocked that it moved. And action figures nowadays are becoming a little more articulated. There, you can definitely move, like you can move the wrist around, you can move it up and down like this, you can move it side to side. You can move the elbow, you can move the shoulders, you can spin the shoulders, the knees, the torso, the head. They're looking a lot more, they're a lot more articulated. So they're definitely putting more effort into them, which is really good. But yeah, they're definitely putting more effort into the action figures nowadays than they did way back in the past. And even back in the past, they were all right for what they were. But remember, with times come evolution, and evolution is definitely needed, and they were worth it. At least I think it was. But all right. Well, to be fair, everybody stuck around a little longer than I thought they would, with it being the 4th of July holiday. So I'm actually just going to cut it then for this week. Everybody can go out and enjoy their 4th of July holiday and have fun and enjoy yourself. I got to work this coming week. So I got to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm doing closing shifts. So I don't even get to enjoy the 4th of July. So that sucks for me. But yep. So everybody have a good 4th of July for me. Eat some hot dogs. I'll be thinking about you. But until next time, everybody, this has been the worst podcast ever. We talked about action figures. I'll have a better topic next week. I promise. I'll try. I'll just make next week just random topic. Like, give me a topic right off the bat, and we'll go from there. That's what we'll do next week. But till next time, everybody. See you later, Chuck. Thanks for coming back. I thought I bored everybody. But all right. Bye, everybody. Bye.